And as always, whenever I go live, there are interesting conversations to be had. It's time for one-on-one with Titi. And today is going to be an interesting day. Why? Because we've been talking a bit of tech in our shows, or on our shows, for quite a bit now. And obviously, in every nation, the importance of computer software industry in the development of a nation can't be overemphasized. In fact, 70% of the world's programmers are presently below 35 years old. And that shows that youth are extremely important to that industry. Now, software developers are the backbone of any successful tech company. While it might seem like writing codes for software are a piece of cake these days for many people, it requires immense patience, concentration, perseverance to get it right. That being said, a software developer's career also comes with its own set of unique challenges. Today on the show, we're going to be discussing those challenges with someone extra special. I'm going to introduce him to you in a second. But first of all, before we do, I'm wondering if, for instance, you or your small business would be interested in creating ads with AI. I'm talking artificial intelligence. Yes, we are in a tech-savvy world, and AI can even create adverts for you and your business. If you scan the QR code on your screen right now, you'll be redirected to adcreative.ai. Now, this artificial intelligence actually creates ads for you in seconds. All you have to do is put in the colors you want, put in the words you're looking for, or maybe your brand title, your brand name, maybe your logo, maybe one or two pictures, and then just click send, and it'll generate loads of ads, so many that you would have to pick and choose which ones you want. Some people like motivational quotes, some people like to sell, some people like season's greetings ads for their brand. This AI can help you do that in seconds. So once again, scan the QR code on your screen right now and try it out and thank me later. All right, then back to the show. We have with us Anselem, or rather Aselemi. I keep saying Anselem. Aselemi Divine Eghu. Now, he is a front-end developer at Instinct Hub. He's a bilingual and a quietly brilliant software developer, as he likes to call himself. It's great to have you here, Aselemi. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here on the show. I am very so much pumped up to be here, and let's get started.
Now, the truth is, the challenges of new software developers in Nigeria, um, I feel like because not a lot of people understand what it takes to develop new software, to code, and to even be in that space at all. They just don't understand it. Most people understand trade, buying and selling, working for a company in different departments. They understand the admin of it all. They understand ledgers and finance, but understanding coding and software development is strange to people. So let's just dive straight in. What are the number one challenges of new software developers, especially in Nigeria?
Okay, so to me, I would say the number one challenges of new software developers is the fact that the learning curve is so broad. Like you have to learn a lot. You have to be so much serious with learning, and you need to be able to learn a lot because you need to be able to learn alone because you won't have people to always teach you this stuff. And we are communicating with a computer. It's not a human being. Humans can understand our emotions, our body languages, and all that, but the computer can't understand us. So the only way we have to communicate with the computer is by speaking the language that the computer understands. So most people find that to be so much challenging. And when they try it out for like a month or for like 2 months, they become tired, they become frustrated. And due to the fact that you don't have a whole lot of community behind you, you don't have a whole lot of people that are doing this stuff, you tend to become no longer motivated. and you tend to drop it because around you you're seeing people who are doing business, finance, like business, networking, different kind of affiliate marketing and all that, but you hardly see programmers, you hardly see software developers. So most people tend to feel down whenever they hit this kind of problems around them. So I feel that's like one of the main reason for this for new developers that are coming into the industry right now.
Mm. What do you think has sustained people so far? What sort of skills do you think are unique to Nigerian software developers that maybe is probably not as necessary if you were living abroad?
Okay, so if I were living abroad, I wouldn't bother myself with learning how to make a website with like WordPress. Okay, so WordPress is like a content management system. It's something that you can just easily build a website with just a template, but you're not going to be writing so many codes. So many people focus on WordPress and they tend to forget that you have to write this code, you have to understand the way the computer thinks, you have to relate with the computer and all that. So to me, I'm going to say you have to take your time and learn the programming language instead of going round beating about the
Mm,
bush, learning different stuff that doesn't really count.
mm. So you're saying it's they are at an advantage abroad. They are taught from the very beginning. How, for
Exactly.
instance, they're taught to build the world WordPress as opposed to using WordPress.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. And there are so many people who, okay, yeah, there are so many opportunities abroad, and then people tend to dive in from different technology to another one. So let's say while I was growing up, while I started programming, I wanted to become a front-end developer, okay? And then I was told that I have to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript, I then heard that I have to learn React JS. I had to learn Vue.js. I had to learn different technologies. So it was just
So
like
these are all
I
different
need to,
programming languages, right? These are all
yeah,
different programming languages.
there are like
Okay.
different frameworks that are under a programming language called JavaScript.
Okay.
Now, we
Fantastic.
here in Nigeria, we were just so bothered about learning different kind of frameworks and not focusing on one particular one to become a boss at it. That
Mm.
is like one of the major problems we were having, like starting out.
So if you had the opportunity now, you wouldn't have maybe gone into learning so many things. You would have just focused on one and developing that one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I would have focused on one, be very
But
good at it.
why do you think it's like that? Why do you think so many different softwares are being thrown at young people these days for them to learn? Why do you think they're being taught that way?
Okay, so basically because of job opportunity. Now you
Okay.
can apply for a job, and the job requirements will be that you have to be able to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Postgres, Django. You have to be able to use all these languages at the same time, and that can be
Mm,
so stressful. Now, so many people feel like I need to know all this, I need to know all this to make sure I get a
mm,
job. And so many people are trying to get into the tech career, they're trying to get a
mm,
job, and they try as much as possible to learn different of those frameworks and all that. And at
yeah.
the end, they become angry and frustrated
Mm, mm.
as at why they don't know how to use it.
So let's talk number of years now for learning. I know you learned. You said it was at Instinct Hub. Yes, was part of your
Yes,
learning process. Yeah, I have
exactly,
Instinct Hub
exactly.
here. Yeah, so I have
Yeah.
Instinct Hub here, um, and
Okay.
you know they. they teach kids, they teach tech, diversity, enterprises, and they also teach people as well. But how long
Exactly.
did it take for you to actually get well versed in it? I know you are very good with languages, but how long did it take you to become at least maybe an intermediate? Not exactly an expert, but an intermediate.
Okay, to become an intermediate, it all depends on the person and how much effort you're willing to put into this stuff. So many people put in 1 hour a day, which is very, very poor. Some people put in five
Mm,
hours a day, some 8 hours. But if you are very much motivated and you want to learn, and you're able to put in 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours a day, I'm going to give you 6 months, 6 months to 8 months.
mm,
You should be
wow.
you should be able to know a lot. And
Mm,
also, if you have a community, like people who do the same stuff with you, you're always communicating with them, you all are sharing your codes together, you're trying to solve problems, you're all speaking programming codes and all that. 6 to 8 months, you should be good to go.
mm.
You should be good to go.
Wow. Okay, so I'm seeing some testimonies here
Yeah.
of some students on the site. But there's just a lot of questions about how people can learn and, of course, how much it cost. I can see
Okay.
all the languages you were talking about: Django, HTML,
Yes,
C.
exactly.
You said all of them are languages under JavaScript, yes?
Yeah, there are different languages under JavaScript, different frameworks rather, like React.
Frameworks under.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry.
frameworks. And
Okay,
then
fantastic. And you can learn this. You can actually learn this online, right? You don't need to go there.
yes,
It's all online.
you can learn this online. But right now they are having like a tech diversity program where they teach people
Wow.
how to code for free, and the students who are able to meet expectation will be hired and given a job.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that is just it,
Amazing.
because we believe that so many people here have so many people have what's it called? So many people have the talent. They have the
Mm.
talent
But
to
but
do
they can't
this. They,
afford.
they can't
But they
afford
can't.
it. They don't. Before I started programming, I used to feel like this stuff was not possible to do in Nigeria. I used to feel like
Wow.
it's just for the people abroad, it's just for the brainiacs, the
Mm.
white people. And then when I started putting myself into it little by little, I started knowing that this is something I can do. It's not a big deal, it's not rocket science. And I had the community around me who were able to put me through.
I'm actually going through these courses and looking at how simplified they are. I really love that. I love the way they put everything together into short courses. How long are each of the courses, by the way?
Okay, each of the courses, they are, sorry, do you mean in duration, for duration, or
Yes, duration. Or so it's up to you, I believe, how long you spend on one. Am I
it's up to
right?
you? Because some people can be so lazy.
Mm,
Sorry to
mm,
say, but some people have this will to
mm,
study, learn, build projects. It all depends on the person. It all
mm.
depends on
I
the
can
person.
only
Yeah.
imagine. I can imagine. All right. So I thank you so much for sharing this with us. I actually find it really interesting. I can say, wow, 0 to 8 steps, 8 steps. Wow. Oh goodness me, feels like going back to school again. All right, I'm not looking at that page anymore. But thank you so much for sharing. That's how you got to learn, and down the line you were able to, at least you are working right now
Yeah.
on different projects, right? But then there are obviously mistakes that some software developers have been making in Nigeria, especially. What are the most common mistakes made by developers, do you think?
So the common mistakes made by developers, number one, and I am also a victim of it, is starting a project without finishing the project. You can start a project and then you're going to hit some roadblocks, like some errors, and then you're going to feel bad. You end up dropping the project, picking up another project, start it, don't finish it, drop it, pick up another project, start, don't finish, and drop, which is very, very bad. That stuff actually hinders our growth as software developers. That's why I'm going to say if you must pick a project, do your own research, know the pros and cons, start the project, look for people who are going to stand by you, who are going to brainstorm with you, and make sure you finish the project. By the time you finish the project, you must have learned a lot, and then you're also going to be proud of yourself. You're going to be proud of
Mm.
yourself.
Do you think there's an age limit to people that can learn to become developers? Do you think there's an age limit? We looked at the statistics earlier on
Yeah.
that said most of the software developers now, the largest percentage are under the age of 35.
Okay.
Does that mean that 45, 50-year-olds can't decide to learn something new?
Okay. That is a very brilliant question. A very brilliant one because I, due to some time that I've been working with Instinct Hub, I see some people who are above 40, 35, within the range of 35, 40. They still come to learn how to code. They come to learn how to code because they know that, okay, technology is taking them out of their field. Some bankers, they come to enroll for data science and data analysis. So many are trying to switch careers, so many are trying to step up their game and all that. So there is no age limit as long as you have the time. And like I said, as long as you are very serious about it, if it's something you want to do, you are definitely going to look for a way around it. You will definitely look
Hmm.
for a way around it. So there is no age limits, like I said. You also can do it.
I was waiting for that
Everyone
line.
around me
Was waiting for
do
that
it.
because I've actually been thinking about it back and forth and back and forth. Even sometimes on LinkedIn, you get
Yeah,
some. Sorry, what's sometimes on LinkedIn you get ads, for courses abroad, for coding, all sorts of different software and all that, and it looks a little
yeah,
overwhelming. It looks overwhelming. It's a completely different. It looks like Greek language to us. It doesn't look like
yeah.
So,
At,
but it does feel
yeah,
like this is, of course, the future, and this is where most of the jobs are going to be in the next 10 to 15 years. So, if you don't get on board now, where are you going to be? Um,
that's
but there are a lot of kids also enrolled at Instinct Hub. Am I right?
yeah. You
Kids,
are right.
children.
Kids, yeah, there are children who are.
What
I'm
sort
not
of
trying
age group
to
are we talking?
blow my. I'm not. Okay, so from like 7 and above, and there are some who are
Okay.
9 to 10 years old that was able to meet the expectation. Like these kids are better than me. These kids
Mm,
can code more than me. Like I am not exaggerating.
wow.
They have all the time in the world. They have all the time in
Mm,
the world to focus, to learn, and
wow.
code. Just teach
Wow.
them, they're going to do it. Unlike someone
Mm,
who is an elderly person who has to think of bills, marital
responsibility.
problems, responsibilities, and all that. But
Yeah.
the kids,
Yeah.
they don't have anything. Just do this stuff. They take it as a play, as a game. They do it. I like. They are
Mm.
very good. They are very good.
I'm
At
actually
some
going to
point,
go
I
back
felt
to.
like sorry. At some point, I felt like I was. If I was a kid, I would have started doing this stuff right
Wow.
from the start.
Wow. So I can see JavaScript anatomy. Wow.
Okay.
The universal language that can be used in probably any domain. Interesting.
Yes.
There were some kids courses for kids. Python for intermediate. Python for kids, week 21 to 24.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Final week for the Python kids program. So, um, this is age 7 to what? 15, 13.
Yeah. 7 to 13. Yeah.
7 to 13. All right. So now this is purely self-centered now for my kids. I'm wondering how much does it cost to enroll kids in your boot camp?
Okay.
How
It
much does it cost?
is. It's quite affordable. 20,000 naira monthly, and in in the space of 6 months, you are going to get the certificates. You're going to be able to do everything that is set out for you, and you have mentors who are willing to watch you or guide the children and make sure they finish up what they want to do. But it is also like it's something that the mentors, they follow you up. They follow you up to make
Mm,
sure that you do it well at your own time. You're putting in
mm,
effort. And you basically do it well. Because,
wow.
like I said, programming, you're interacting with computer.
Mm,
It's not like a human. You're interacting with
mm,
computers. You have to know how the computer thinks. You need to speak
mm.
with the computer, eat with the computer, play
Yeah.
with the computer.
Mm.
That's
One of,
just
one of my one of my daughters is quite versed in this already. At least,
okay.
well, she went for a holiday course in AI art. So
Okay.
she has some pieces that um, we would like to put on the blockchain, for instance. And
Wow.
she's designed so many different things through AI. She
Wow.
understands that because she's also a Robloxian, so she
Okay.
has quite a lot of property on Roblox. She even has staff
Wow.
on Roblox. Yeah, so I do understand that it is a whole new world that kids can get involved with and of course be
Yes,
engaged with.
exactly.
But my issue is them getting work and jobs in that space later on. Do you think of this as essential or not so essential for parents to look into? Some parents just want kids to be doctors. Some people just want their kids to go into business. But coding AI is not really something they're interested in their kids being part of. What advice would
Yeah.
you have for parents like that?
Okay. For parents, I'm going to advise them to let the children go into what they want to go into, but then it should have like a little form of they should have like a little form of tech skill in one way or the other. You can have tech skills that comprises from designing, software testing, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, robotics. Like it's so broad. It's not everyone that's going to become a software developer. You can decide to become whatever you want to become in the tech industry. And now it is going to be very much popular in the nearest future because AI is taking over the industry. There's an awesome platform that came out now. It's called ChatGPT. That is what we usually use to solve our problems. Like it knows all the codes that we write. They can understand. It can understand us. It can predict what we want to say or what we want to do. So it's literally taking people out of the market. So if it's taking people out of the market, you need to make sure that your children are growing with these technologies. Your children need to be able to be at pair with these technologies. It's going to be a win-win both for the parents and also for the kids. Definitely, it's going to be a win-win. And then also, like you said, there are some parents who want their children to be doctors, lawyers. Yes, you can become a doctor and also know a tech skill that is related to medicine. Because nowadays there are so many sophisticated machines that are trying to replace doctors. So if a doctor is able to understand a thing or two about them, it's going to be a win-win for the doctor. So cutting across all sectors is going to be a win-win.
Amen to that. As in, from the way you said it and from how the site looks, I'm interested in maybe taking one or two courses with you guys as well. You said 20,000, yes, 20,000 a
Yeah,
month.
20,000. Yeah, it's
For both
20,000.
adults and kids per
Both
course, yeah.
adults, yeah, adults, kids. It's
Wow,
quite affordable.
amazing,
It
amazing.
is.
All right, off the top of your head, I'm in the media. I'm on air
Okay.
all the time. I'm having conversations
Okay.
on podcasts. Which of these courses would you think I should have as a basic, just a basic introduction to software development?
Okay. So basic. introduction to software development. Um, I would say the about how to use HTML. HTML.
Mm.
So HTML is like the building block for building websites. So
Oh, okay.
it's just like a skeleton, like
Okay.
a house structure. You just structure it. Whatever you see on the web now is built with HTML. So if you want to
Mm.
dive into software development, I feel you need to know it or two about HTML, and it's not too complex because some
Mm.
people might be listening to it and they will start being like, can you just be
HTML.
done?
All right. So
Can you just be done? So that's why we try to make it fun for people
mm.
to some
Okay.
extent. Yeah.
Okay. How to make vectors is here. How to go dark mode with HTML. So dark mode is when you turn this background into a dark color. Yes, dark mode
Yes,
for
exactly.
a website or
Yes,
for
for websites.
that's
Yeah.
that's interesting. So I'll be able to do introduction to animation. Interesting, nice. Okay,
Like,
let me see. So by the time I take okay, HTML fundamentals. This is one you're talking about,
yes, that is the
right?
one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Fundamentals. All right, all right. And this is taught by someone who is also using this, obviously, in everyday life.
Yes,
And I
everyday
can
life.
see. Mm, all right. Real life applications for these will definitely show up in our lives eventually. And I'm so
Definitely.
impressed. I'm going to even bookmark this page. Make a bookmark. Make I not go lose. I can't lose the page.
Like
But thank
software
you
is the
so
future.
really, Aselemi Divine, thank you so much for talking to us about this.
You're
I guess the
welcome.
major mistakes that people are making is they're trying to take on too much at the same time, and then they end up
Exactly.
losing focus.
Yeah, that is
And
it.
yeah, and apart from the normal challenges of electricity and finding the right internet providers and all that, software developers are are honestly growing and making sure that there is a future for the nation. Most of them are under the age of 35, meaning that in the next 10 years, goodness knows where that industry is going to be. But Aselemi, you can come back and talk to us about what you think. Oh, you know what? Let me just even throw it to you right now. What do you think the future holds for software engineers of tomorrow, of today, rather?
Software engineers of today,
Mhm.
do you mean like in
Yeah.
Nigeria or the whole world
Oh,
in
well,
general? I would
let's
like to
just
know.
say in Nigeria for now. Let's say in Nigeria.
Okay, in Nigeria, Nigeria is changing. We are about to change government. A new president is coming in, and the new president will want to probably, hopefully, change the economy. We want to invest a lot in tech and all that. So I feel like the people who are going into tech this period, it is still very, very early for you to go into tech. You're not late. Don't feel like everyone is doing it, so you don't have to go into it. You need to do it because the whole world is changed. Is changing. Tech is going to be everywhere around us. We're going to be doing everything with software. So it's going to be a win-win for us. And big businesses are growing. Businesses are also transitioning into having websites, applications. So if you are part of the people who can build these softwares, it's going to be very wonderful. And I mean, job opportunities are going to be surplus because that was how India of today, they are now very good with tech. If you want to watch any tutorial about tech or software, you're going to see an Indian man coming up with his wonderful accent and all that. So basically, it's going to be a win-win. I would say people should invest in it one way or the other. Yeah,
Aselemi, thank you so much for joining us today on
you're
One on One.
welcome.
And thanks for talking about those challenges that we're obviously some people are just not taking note of in different industries. And it's so interesting that you should mention India because whenever you find companies, even e-commerce companies, and they have
Yeah.
tech support. Apparently, there are tech support farms in India where
Yes.
they actually outsource their tech support and even their customer care to India, because those are the guys that understand this stuff the most, or let's say Asia, not
Yes.
just Asia. And they're the ones that will likely answer the call. So you might be calling a company that's based in the US, but their tech support is actually based in India, and you're actually
Exactly.
calling to get the information you need. And it's so interesting. Even the software I'm using right now, Restream, to stream
Okay.
live on YouTube and LinkedIn and all the others, it's a software that literally gives me a TV station, at my fingertips. This is something that
Yeah.
probably couldn't exist some years ago. I
Years
can
ago.
change the color of, yeah, I can change the color of the screen. I can add and remove your name at a click. I can share my screen. I can play videos or music if I want.
Yeah.
And this wasn't possible, let's say 5 years ago. I don't even think it was possible 4 years ago to have this all at your
Wasn't.
fingertips for free.
Wasn't. For
For
free.
free.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for the pro version. I did pay for the pro version, but I'm like, I'm not doing the pro version anymore. Not right
Yeah.
now, because I'm still
They,
learning how to use it.
they always have a
But
pro version.
yeah, of course. Um, it's so interesting. This conversation, of course, is not over. Please, if you would like to make any comments or contributions, use the chat box or chat section or comment section on whatever platform you are listening or viewing us from. Once again, thank you so much, Aselemi, for talking to us today.
You're
But
welcome.
don't be a stranger. I need a coach, so I'm gonna be taking one or two of those courses in my
Okay.
free time, if I can find free
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
And I encourage you to ensure that I do not forget. So I've used the chat section to send something to you now. But
Okay.
if you could send me some information, I know there are quite a few people that are friends of mine who would also want to be part of this
That
as
would be awesome.
right then. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We try to make people enjoy it, know that okay, this is the future. This is going to replace you from your job.
It's actually a scary thought. It's a
It's
scary
a
thought.
scary thought.
Yeah,
It's a scary
it
thought.
is.
But for us as
Yeah.
well, the
Mm.
programmers, AI are trying to replace us. But
Like they
they are
can't.
trying to.
They can't. Eventually, AI still needs instructions. It still
Yes,
needs
they still need
instructions. Don't
instructions.
you think?
Exactly.
It still needs instructions.
Exactly.
So there is life after AI. And there is don't worry.
There is life
They're not
after
thinking of
AI.
there's there's life after AI.
Exactly.
Because even when you think about blockchain technology, blockchain has potential to even replace lawyers already with
Okay.
um, what they call smart contracts.
Yeah, smart
You know,
contracts.
yeah, so you might not even need to get a physical person to enforce a contract for you eventually in the next
Okay.
5 to 10 years. With smart contracts, you might not need anyone to write a particular contract document for you or get it signed for you, or establish a connection with a company in another country that you probably wouldn't have had access to before now. So technology is taking us places we never knew we would be going.
Even
But
you,
that
yes.
conversation, we're starting another conversation now. Let's stop. Let's stop.
Exactly.
We'll be talking again soon. We're talking again soon on another topic sometime soon.
It would be so wonderful to be hosted here. I just like to share my experiences, help people who are going through what I'm going through right now, help mentor them and all that. It's going to be a very wonderful one. I'm so much grateful for today for this opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome, Asai. All right. So yeah, there you have it. One on one with Titilaring. So if you would like to be on the next episode, all you have to do is send us an email. It's very simple. Just send it to Dynamite Podcast Network at gmail.com. That's Dynamite Podcast Network at gmail.com. You can, of course, like, subscribe, follow, tag, tweet, post. All those terms that just have technology all over them. If you want to reach us, there is always a way for you to contact us. YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. we're everywhere. One-on-one with Titilayo Song is going to be coming your way very soon with another interesting conversation. Make sure you make it a date. Bye.